We were called out to a home out in Cave Junction for an apparent suicide. And myself and one of our staff members went out. When we arrived, there was no law enforcement on scene, no medical personnel. We were unable to get a hold of anyone at that time, even calling back, trying to get a hold of someone with dispatch. We were actually ended up going all the way over to Central Point to the state police, and they had to inform us at that time that they had no one available to come out to Cave Junction. Luckily, I was able to get a hold of our medical examiner and kind of discuss the situation with him, take some photos for him, so he had something to go off and to base the investigation off of. And then with his approval, we were able to remove the gentleman with the help of the family. For us, as staff for a funeral home, we don't have the law enforcement training, so we're going out there and we're just assuming that this was what it looked like, that it was a suicide. We don't have the training to look at and say, okay, was this gentleman murdered and set up a stage to look like this? We go out and we've got to go off of what it looks like to us. Before the cutbacks, we just knew when we arrived there'd be someone, law enforcement on scene. Because of the sheriff's cutbacks and the lack of patrols in our area at that time for the state police, they were unable to respond. On a tragic loss where this is something not planned, they're already dealing with the sudden loss of their loved one, and now having to just kind of sit and wait for things to happen. It can be very traumatic to a family. Our medical examiner here in Josephine County actually handles I believe 3 or 4 other counties in the area. And for 2015, the first couple of months, January and February, his caseload was about 60% Josephine County, 40% all other counties. You know, it's one of those things where if you don't need any law enforcement, you're thinking everything is fine. But the minute you do, whether it's the loss of a loved one or loss of property, then it becomes your issue. It comes more close to home.